If your schedule feels tight, your to-do list is never ending, and you're constantly trying to figure out how to fit in just one more thing, this episode is for you. I'm going to be walking you through the 10 intentional systems that I use in my life and that you should be using as well to feel more productive and more peaceful. I'm going to show you how to do this without needing a 3-hour long drawn out morning routine or having to do a whole overhaul of your whole lifestyle. I'm going to be showing you how to design simple systems into your life that'll make you feel more grounded, more peaceful, and more relaxed. I cannot wait to show you because I promise these are things you haven't heard before that are going to make your life feel so much more calm and let the chaos be gone forever, even if you have a full life just like me. Hey, welcome back to the Fireside Podcast for ambitious women just like you who want to get it all done without burning out. I am your host, Sade Kelly, time management coach, wife, and mom, and I know exactly what it feels like to be overwhelmed, to have so much to do and have so much ambition, but not know how to organize it in an efficient, effective way, and that is exactly what I help you do in this podcast. So if you are not already, make sure you are subscribed, and if you are loving this episode, make sure that you like, comment, and share this with someone else. All right, let's get into the episode. So when it comes to simplifying your life, there are 10 things that I swear by. I'm super intentional about these things because they have genuinely changed the trajectory of my life, and it has done so for my clients. So one of the first ones is a Sunday reset routine. Now, I love my Sunday reset routine. I do it every single Sunday. I mean, unless I am on vacation, I am doing this ritual, okay? This routine helps me so much because it literally encompasses how I plan my week, how I prep for the week, and how I'm able to run my week very smoothly. So the first thing I do every single Sunday is I make sure to do a cleaning. Like, I tend to do my deep or cleaning on a Sunday morning. And this can consist of different things. So sometimes it's putting away laundry because I've done laundry throughout the week. But let's be real, my husband does all the laundry. But typically for me, it is putting away all of the laundry, cleaning all the bathrooms, cleaning the living room, whatever it is that needs to be more deeply cleaned that I didn't get to in my daily tidy up, which I'll talk about later on in one of my 10 steps, is getting done on Sunday morning. So we wake up, we like to listen to church online, and then we will sit here and clean as a family, get everything tidied up. That is something that I love to do on a Sunday when I have the time in the morning. Another thing I love to do on a Sunday is I make sure to plan my week. I'm very big on planning your week ahead of time. I have a very simple process for planning my week. If you want the in-depth process so you can do it too, I promise you, you will love my time management starter kit. It is in the show notes. Go ahead and download that, and I will teach you verbatim my step-by-step process, not only how to plan your week, but how to make sure it aligns with your goals and your lifestyle. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and get that template. It's in the show notes. But what I do during my planning time is I will first do a brain dump. So if you don't have one central place where you're keeping everything you have to get done, make sure you are doing that. What I see a lot of times is women will have a notebook, a Post-it, multiple planners, multiple apps. You need one centralized place where you're collecting everything that is going on in your head, that's going on in your life, right? So I like to sit down, I look at my Notion, which is just a weekly brain dump, and I think, okay, what are all the things I have going on in my personal life? What are all the things I have going on in my business? For me, that's the two top categories. Determine your top categories and then just brain dump it all out. So I'm thinking through, what do I need to do to prepare for this week? And when I say this week, not every week looks the same. Some weeks we have different appointments going on. We have different things going on in our personal lives, meaning not just me, but my family. So my husband and my son. So I'm thinking through, what do I have coming up? Do I have any travel? Do I have appointments? Yada, yada, you get the gist. Do I need to shop for certain things? And I'm writing out everything. There is nothing too small that does not go on this list, right? Even down to like, you need to clip your son's toenails. Like, I mean, granular, right? Everything is getting out of our head because when we get things out of our head, we clear up our mind to be used for more effective things, to be used for deeper thinking, to be used for more useful parts of our life, right? we can only remember but 7 or 8 things before we forget things. So writing everything in a brain dump is really helpful. This could be in a notebook. For me, I like to type it out because I tend to do all my planning digital, but you kind of got to figure out which one works best for you. But I like to make sure I plan out my entire week by first doing that brain dump. And then I look at the brain dump and I make sure it aligns with my goals for that quarter / that month. So I already have my goals written out. And if you don't have your goals written out in an effective way and you don't know how to break down like your 5-year goals to your year goals, to your quarterly goals, to your monthly goals, to your daily and weekly goals, then you definitely want to get the time management starter kit. Like I literally walk you through this in depth. But after I align my brain dump with my goals, then I prioritize. Now I like to use the Eisenhower Matrix to prioritize, which I also have a free guide of how I use that. I'll leave that in the show notes as well. But I sit here and I think through, okay, what are the priorities? What is important and urgent? What's not important, but it needs to get done? What's urgent, but not necessarily important? What's important, not urgent? Like I go through the whole different quadrants of the Eisenhower Matrix and I look at, okay, this is what's important for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I go from there. And then I get it all scheduled in my Sunsama, or you can time block it into your calendar. It's kind of like up to you how you want to do it. And I'm going to go into more depth of time blocking in my second point, but I like to just plan out everything in Sunsama. That's my task management tool. And I like to think through, okay, all the personal tasks, all the business priorities for each day, get it planned out. So now that I have my week scheduled, I have my cleaning done, the next thing I'm gonna do is meal prepping. So I'm very big on meal prepping. I like to have a weekly menu. I like to think of like on maybe like Thursday, like Friday morning, because we typically go grocery shopping on Friday afternoons. I like to look on Pinterest or I look what I have saved on Instagram, because I'm someone like I have a lot of food on my feed and I like to save recipes. So I'll look at whatever I have coming up or saved, and I think about, okay, what do I want to cook this week? And that's typically the groceries that I buy, and then I'm prepping most of it on Sunday. Now I typically cook Sunday and I do one midweek, like Wednesday cooking, depending on like what I want to eat throughout the week, because I'm not someone who can cook everything on Sunday and then just like eat it throughout the week, because I feel like by like day 4 it doesn't taste the same. Like y'all tell me in the comments, like chicken, come on, it tastes different by Thursday if you cook it on Sunday. So what I tend to do is like prep everything else. So cutting up vegetables, fruit, whatever I have to do, I'm prepping. So I have enough food for a couple days and I cook in on Wednesday, and then I have enough food by the weekend. And typically we at least eat out once or twice over the weekend, so that kind of helps me for those Saturday and Friday days. But I love to do all of that. So by the time I have cleaned up the house, I have meal prepped, I have planned out my week, I feel so great by Sunday night. And that's when I'm typically able to relax. I hang out with my husband. We like to have like a little date night to start the week off, like in home, right? And it's just really, really nice, because it's those little things that matter so much, especially when you have a young child. The second thing that is an amazing intentional life system is blocking your calendar before anybody else can. So I'm very big on blocking time out into your calendar. Now, if you work a job, this is even more important. Why? Because I'm sure that people tend to put a lot of meetings on your calendar, put a lot of things on you before you can even think of how you're going to get your tasks done. Something that was amazing for me, like that amazed me when I was in corporate, was literally like I would have like 7 or 8 hours worth of meetings, and my work day was like 8 or 9 hours. So it's like, when was I getting work done? So I ended up always having to get work done in a meeting, or I had to block out time on my calendar to protect it. I want you to block out time to protect whatever you need to get done. A lot of times what I see with ambitious women, we block out time for work or clients, but we do not block out time for ourselves. Before anybody else takes up your time, even if you have a business and it's clients taking up your time, or you leaving time open for sales calls or whatever else, you have to block time out for what matters to you. You should have time blocked out for exercising, for your meals, for your self-care, whether it's different routines like to do a workout class you want to try, intentional time with your children or with your husband or with your friends or with yourself. Like, these are the things that need to be blocked out ahead of time. Because if your cup is not full and your life and your home is not together, your work will suffer. You will never feel this type of accomplishment and peace you want until those things are in order. So please make sure that you are blocking out your calendar and you are putting in your priorities before other people can put in theirs. The third life system is to prep your clothes ahead of time, right? Whether it is just your gym clothes, if you're anything like me, maybe you work from home and outfits day to day don't matter as much, but you want to make sure you're in the gym or at least getting your exercise in, so you like to prep those. Like, think about how you can reduce decision fatigue, right? And reduce friction. If you're someone who struggles to go to the gym, this is a way to make it easier. If you're someone who struggles to work out in general, even if you're working out from home, this will make it easier. Prep your clothes, have those things out, like have your few go-to outfits, like maybe at the front of your closet. Like, I like to organize my outfits that I tend to wear from work from home. They're pretty comfy. I have like different sets that I like to wear, or unless I'm going out, then maybe I'll have like a dress or like jeans or whatever. And I like to actually organize my outfits that I'm going to wear for the week, like in one central area of the closet, so I can just grab and go throughout the week. And then I will also have my gym clothes folded up, and I'll have like the sports bra, the top, the pants, like everything there ready to go. And my sneakers, I actually keep it by the door, right? So it's very easy. Things I need for the gym are by the door. My gym bag, typically my water bottle ready to be filled up, my keys, my sunglasses, like, because I walk to the gym from where I'm at. So it's like everything is there ready to go, reducing friction, reducing decision fatigue, making it super simple. And then I already have my workout on my calendar, time block. I know what time I'm doing my workout. I already have my workout planned in the time block, right? So I already know, okay, once I get to the gym, it's arm day. Here's the arm workout I'm doing, yada, yada, yada. Let's make it super simple to track and do our things, okay? This is gonna help you so much. Prep it. If you're someone who likes to have like a uniform per se, like you have certain things you like to wear every month or every week, like make it super easy. Have it already ironed, have it laid out. It's gonna make a huge difference. And it only takes you probably like 15 to 20 minutes to prep it ahead of time, versus imagine how long it takes you in the morning to think about it when you're tired and you're just like, oh my gosh, what do I want to wear? And then you're dragging it out. You don't need to do that anymore. I even once had a client who, once she started prepping her outfits out ahead of time, she had more time to look more put together. And that was something she wanted to be doing. She wanted to be like doing her makeup and spending more time on her hair, but she took so long to pick out her outfits that she wasn't able to do that. This is a way to save time, to make up time for something else that you want to be doing in the morning. So think about it that way too. Number 4 is plan your workouts like appointments. I already kind of talked about this in the time blocking section, but your workouts should be planned out ahead of time. If you are not exercising and you are highly ambitious women, a high achieving women, you need to be exercising, especially if you are over 30, okay? Because our muscle density is just going down and down and down. And we need to be lifting weights, we need to be working out, we need to be moving our bodies. If you want to have more energy and yet you are not moving your body, it doesn't make sense, sis. You have to be moving your body. Number 5 is daily 10-minute tidy ups. Now, the time frame doesn't really matter, but 10 minutes just sounds very approachable, so I use 10 minutes. But the point of this is that you are not only creating cleanliness, but you're creating peace in your home. I don't know if you're like me, but I get anxiety, like little physical, mental anxiety when my house is cluttered. Like, my husband knows it. If I come downstairs and the kitchen island is a mess, that's like the first thing I have to get. I have to just clean that up. I have to, right? My kitchen needs to be in order. My kitchen island needs to be in. I spend a lot of time in my living room area. That's where, like, it's next to the dining room. It's next to the kitchen. Everything is there. My son is typically hanging out there. I work from there sometimes. So, like, I need that to be clean. I love to set a timer, and I do like a 10-minute tidy up. That way I'm aware of the time, because sometimes when we want to do a tidy up, next thing we know, we're taking out laundry, we're unrolling the dishwasher, and it's been an hour, right? So the timer is great because it keeps you conscious of the time. If you're not doing a daily tidy up, you need to start doing that as well. It's just 10 to maybe 20 minutes, maybe max 30 minutes of just tidying things up by the end of the day is going to make a big life-changing move in your life. Because when you go to do your deep clean once a week or every couple weeks or every month, whatever your time frame is for that, it's going to be much easier because you've been cleaning up every single day. I've helped countless women implement this, and it's made the biggest difference. I know sometimes at the end of the day we're tired, so maybe you find a different part of the day you do your tidy up. Now, me and my husband love to do our tidy up at the end of the night. That way we wake up to a clean home. Like, I really love that too, because it reminds me of that no matter if I have kids or not. Because something I heard a lot from a lot of people was like, once you have kids, your house is always gonna be a mess. I refuse that. I refuse for that to be me. So one thing we make sure we do is, like, we're gonna tidy up. We're gonna at least make the surfaces look clean. Maybe we didn't go deep into the crevices, and maybe the drawers inside look a little crazy sometimes. But at least on the surface, everything is clean, it's wiped down. We feel like things have been tidied up. Number 6 life system that I love, create themed days or hours, okay? I love batching work. Why? Because your brain does really well when it's doing one type of task versus switching from different context to different contexts. When you switch between different contexts, meaning like something completely different than the other task, it takes you about 23 minutes to get into focus again. So if you're spending like maybe 2 hours in the morning just working on content and doing content writing, and then you spend like maybe 2 hours in the evening working on like financial things or admin stuff, or maybe you take your coaching calls, like being able to at least have context hours, if you're not able to do context days, is going to make it so much easier. Meaning like you have themes for your hours, or you have a certain theme for your day. So maybe like Monday is all content, Tuesday is all admin, Wednesdays when you do all your calls. If that doesn't work for you, which it typically doesn't work for me, I like to have themed hours. So you can test out and see which one works for you best. But I really like having themed hours where I'm thinking through, okay, on Mondays, my themed hours are dedicated to XYZ. On Tuesday, my themed hours are going to be dedicated to XYZ. And like my themed hours are typically during my son's nap. So there's like 2 hours that I have, 2 to 3 hours straight where I can just work on something. And then I pick up some more hours maybe throughout the morning or through when he has more independent play in the evening, or if he's with my husband. Like I like to plan out my deep time, and then I think about what am I going to get done that's one type of task, meaning the context is the same. It's all content, or it's all admin, or it's all financial. Like you can figure out what those things will be for you, and I actually go more in depth with how to pick those things out in my starter kit, and I help clients do this all of the time as well. And it's so helpful because it helps you to know what you're going to do during that time, and it helps you to be more efficient. Then you can also plan this best times around your energy. So like if you're thinking through, okay, maybe Monday and Tuesday I'm higher energy, so I'm going to do like deeper tasks or harder, more challenging tasks then. And then later in the week, I'm going to do more chill tasks, maybe more meetings, more admin, more emails, more things outside of the home to get my energy back up, or to be around people if you're like extrovert. Like that's typically how I like to plan my week. It's like Monday through Wednesday, it's like heads down, more deeper work, challenging work. And I typically take more calls during that time. And then by Thursday, I'm winding down. By Friday, honestly, I'm barely doing any work. I really don't even really work Friday. Friday's like my flow day. And then Saturday, I don't really work at all either. And then Sunday, I tend to do my Sunday reset routine. But then I also film every other Sunday for YouTube. So that really helps me because it's just a couple hours during my son's nap. Like right now, I just film and batch out a couple videos. I edited it right after. And then by Monday, everything is synced up, ready to go so it can publish on Tuesday. Like you want to set up very easy processes and themes for things so that it's just turnkey and you're doing it every single week seamlessly without having to think too much. Which brings me to number 7 of an intentional life system that I love is making sure that you build micro routines, AKA like game time checklist if you must. Like I really admired one of my corporate jobs that I had, like my first job out of school, because they had a standardized operating procedure for everything. I mean, like there was nothing that we didn't do that we didn't have steps and know what to do for. It was like the most organized organization I ever worked for. Like I learned so much, and I became an amazing account executive from just learning from this team. And I think it really ties some teeth into the work I do today. I mean, I know it does actually, but it is so helpful when you have checklists for things. And I took that concept from my corporate job and started implementing it in my life. So you want to make sure that you have these set routines in every area of your life if you can. The ones that at least make sense. Like for me, I love to have a set routine for my morning. I love to have a set checklist for my nighttime routine, for my son's routine, for my workouts. Like you can think of all the different things that you may need a process for and then start writing those things out, especially in your business. Like when it comes to like sales and marketing and launching, like I love to just have a series of things that I know I'm going to do. Even uploading YouTube videos, like I just explained, I have a series of things I know I need to do. When it comes to writing my emails, I have a series of steps I know I'm going to take. Like think about the things you do on a regular basis, again and again and again. Why not have a process that you follow for it? And what makes it even easier is if you take the process and you just screen record yourself doing it one day and you just talk through it. I love to use Loom for this, and I'll just screen record, walk through how I do something, and then you can upload it to a system like ChatGPT and ask it to create a standard operating procedure for you, and boom, you already have the checklist done by someone else for you. Number 8 is using visuals as cues for your habits. So think of this as like a way of habit stacking. I love this because it helps you to build amazing habits. It also makes habits easy to build. So maybe you suck at taking your vitamins. Place your vitamins next to your water. If you know you drink water every morning or you go to cook breakfast at your stove every day, put your vitamins right next to it. Bam, now you're gonna start taking your vitamins. That is something I actually do because I do tend to forget to give my vitamins to my son and myself. So I keep everything right next to the stove. Every morning when I wake up, the pots that I'm gonna use to cook breakfast are already there. I even in my fridge like to line up things by meal. So you'll see like all the breakfast items next to each other, everything for my son and for myself and my husband. You'll see dinner next to each other. You'll see like fruits and snacks next to each other. I know people organize their fridge in different ways, but for me, it's very process oriented. I'm very much thinking about like the meals and how easily I can grab them. Like think about how you can use visual cues. Like I said, my shoes are by the door when I'm going to the gym. My keys are by the door. Like what visual cues can you put in place? If there's something you tend to forget, like I know for my husband, I'm like, he tends to forget what he's doing for the day. And like, he may not look at his calendar all the time. I'm like, put a sticky note on your computer. You're always at your desk. Remind yourself of what you are going to be doing, or remind yourself of the affirmations you want to be using. If you're watching on YouTube, you see me pointing to the affirmations that are behind me. These are affirmations I like to read every single day. They're right there. It's a visual cue. I've had clients, I've talked about this plenty of times. You want to stretch more, put your yoga mat out right outside your bed so you see it, you start to do it. Now, the action taken is up to you and your discipline, but the visual cues help you so you do not forget. It's almost like how when you set a meeting on your calendar and then you set a reminder, just hearing that reminder, seeing it come up reminds you what you have going for the day. That is something that I love doing. I also have my calendar as a huge widget on my phone, visual cue of what I'm getting done and what I'm doing for the day. You see where I'm going for here? Use these visual cues to your benefit to make your life easier. The whole point of these systems is not to add on a bunch, but to make you organized, to make you more efficient, to be able to help you not only just be a high achiever, but be a peaceful, high achieving, ambitious woman. Number 9 is multitask with intention, right? Because a lot of times I would not tell you to multitask, okay? But when I say don't multitask, I mean don't do 2 things that take your full cognitive ability at the same time. Meaning like you shouldn't be watching TV while you're trying to create a PowerPoint for your job or for your business, right? Those 2 things don't make sense because you're not gonna be able to fully be attentive to the TV and fully be attentive to the work that you're doing on hand. But when it comes to like listening to a podcast, or even want to listen to about a new marketing strategy and then folding your laundry, you can do those things. Or maybe catching up on an audio book while you're driving to a place that you go to a lot of time and you don't need the GPS for necessarily. Those things are really nice to do at the same time and you're being more efficient with your time. I know if you're a mother, you definitely need to be doing this, right? I tend to love to like post my content while my son is sitting down to eat his lunch. So I'll be sitting there, maybe I've already eaten and he takes a while, he's a toddler. I have him setting up and he's eating his lunch. I'm sitting next to him, we're still like interacting. I'm there, making little faces at him so he knows I'm engaged. But at the same time, I'm posting my content because that needs to happen around the same time. Or maybe I am nursing him when I was still nursing and I'm listening to a podcast at the same time. Of course, it's not so high where I can't like hear him, but I'm able to still kind of mentally stimulate myself and I don't feel like I'm just bored during the whole process, especially when in the beginning stages when it took a while. I would love to like be listening to a podcast, listening to something that intrigues me, or listening to an audio book, or learning something, even taking a course while I'm doing something that's kind of mundane or something that like I don't need full cognitive ability to do. You see what I'm saying here? See how you can design in more time without having to actually have more time, because you're able to do more things at once that do not conflict with each other. And lastly, number 10, know your weekly non-negotiables. So there's no reason not to get whatever you want done in a week because you have your non-negotiables planned out. So this goes back to your time blocks. Now we talked about having time blocks in the second step, but this last system is a little different because it's really just you having your written boundaries down And I think this is really, really important because sometimes we forget our own boundaries and we don't enforce them with ourselves or with others. So when it comes to having this non-negotiable list, I want you to think of all the different areas in which you maybe need to implement some more boundaries. Maybe there's certain habits or aspects of your life that you want to improve and you just forget. And you really just need it written down. And you can have this in your one centralized place, like what I talked about where I have my weekly brain dump. I also have like my set non-negotiables, my set boundaries. And this changes from season to season. Maybe your summer boundaries are different than like your winter, your fall boundaries. The whole point is that you have this written down. Like maybe you're in a season where, like for me, I was doing 3 workouts last month, but this month I want to be doing 4 workouts. I want to be lifting heavier. I want to incorporate some more solo time. Like there's certain things that I want to now hold space for and boundaries I want to now set. I have them written down as reminders, so when I'm planning my week every Sunday, like during the Sunday reset, I can refer back to these things. That's the whole point of having these boundaries written down. They can change, they can evolve. Like I've said in previous steps, these are living and breathing, changeable things. But the whole point is that you have them written down so they really become non-negotiable. The bonus tip to this is make sure these things are also shared with your spouse. If you have a spouse or you're in a relationship or you have a family that you're living with, share these things with them. You guys can have shared routines and shared calendars and make sure that everybody knows what is going on. So that way everybody feels included. And it's like, okay, we know that this weekend, for instance, I'm going away. So it's like, okay, everybody in the house knows, okay, mama's going to be away. She's doing her solo travel for 2 days. So how are we going to adjust and plan ahead of time to make that simpler? Or maybe dad is going away. Or maybe like my son has something coming up or a class, something else. Like whatever it is, make sure that everybody knows what is going on and you're working together as a family, and you're also sure everybody's role and what everybody's taking on month to month or week to week. This helps you not only work as a team, but also communicate better and just helps everything in the household to just flow easier. I hope this episode was super simple and intentional and easy for you to understand so that you can take these things and implement. I want you to just pick out of these 10 intentional life systems, which ones you think will be most beneficial for you, and just start implementing them one by one, right? Whether it's blocking your calendar, laying your clothes out, like figure out which ones, listen back to this and think through which ones are going to make the most sense for you that you can implement right now. Intentional living isn't about just doing more. It's about doing things on purpose and in alignment with you. That is the whole point of this. Do more of what matters for you. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to share this podcast with someone you know would benefit from this. It really, really means the world if you could share this with at least 5 of your friends and family, and even leave us a review on Apple or Spotify. That would also mean the most to me if you're listening on Spotify or Apple. But if you're on YouTube, please be sure to just leave a comment. I would love to see your thoughts about this episode. And of course, if you would love to be coached on any of these topics and actually walk through how to implement these things and hold yourself accountable, be sure to book a time audit call. That is the best way for us to do a consultation and see if coaching makes the most sense for you. And as always, that will be left in the show notes. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.